Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Diana Moon Media Punker. I have a very short but very special video to show you guys wherein I demo one match of Roller Champions, which was just debuted, premiered, what have you, at E3 earlier today. They're one of the few people, Ubisoft was one of the few people to offer a demo straight up after their announcement of this game, which I immediately liked and downloaded and checked out. And so I had forgot to hit record on this video before entering a match because I didn't expect to get into a match so quickly once I installed the game. Um, but this was the only time I ever got into a match in the past couple hours, unfortunately, because the queue times are ridiculous, assuming, or the match. And I currently don't have anyone to play with, so then they have to match you up with other random people because it is a game where you can play as a three-person game, or 3v3 to be exact. So here's the one quick match I did, and I will be talking over this video because I did not record myself talking as I played this because I was just trying to get into the game and trying to figure it out. So without further ado, so audio will cut in and out, and that was basically me tabbing in and out. It highly recommends you to use a controller. I don't often use controllers, so either my controller wasn't plugged in correctly or it was still a little buggy, because as you can see here, I'm not the only person standing around doing nothing because the controller decided to not work anymore once I got into the game. And you only get the tutorial once, and you have no longer access to that tutorial once you see it. And they didn't give you the keyboard. Unfortunately, they didn't give you the keyboard shortcuts. Even if you go into settings, you can't do anything about it. So I do include here a short bit of me flailing about, pressing random keys to figure out how to move. You'd think intuitively this game you get to go forward by pressing W. Not necessarily, or at least not movement. I get some movement here because of just momentum and just swaying about. And just so you know, I did not choose this character. I think you're randomly given a character for the demo. So this is the character I got for this game. I was hoping to get the one that we got to see in the trailer of a cool athletic black chick. But at least I'm still a woman. And I finally figure out here that holding shift actually makes you move. Now in the tutorial, they give you some ways to show the video tutorial of how to move, like how to gain boost, and that's by like crouching and going up and down the ramps, of course, and because you don't want to just be constantly using your feet to build speed. And just like in like a lot of racing games, if you're behind someone, be it friend or foe, you can gain some speed that way, because I forget the actual term for it, but drifting, I think. So here I'm just finally figuring out, oh yay, I can actually move. I'm the orange team, by the way. And by this point, and if you guys were paying attention to the upper left corner, some people dropped out because either they were playing with people, they realized they were playing with people who don't know what they're doing, or the game crashed, or maybe like me, the controller stopped working and couldn't figure out the keyboards. So in this game, you can pass, you can request to pass, you, just like in roller derby, you can hit people. I think that's official in roller derby, at least the media, that's what I've been told, to knock the ball out of hand. Now every match is 7 minutes with 3 minutes of overtime, so supposedly the match will never be more than 10 minutes long. But it's either 7 minutes plus the 3 minutes, or until whatever team gets 5 points. And the way they explain this is that once you have possession of the ball, you have to make at least one circle around. Once you get a circle around, then the hoops on the side will light up, and you can make a point. So one lap is 1 point. 2 laps, I believe, is 3 points. And then if you're able to make 3 laps, that gives you 5 points, and then you win the game with just that. So here you can see that the hoop lit up, but by this point, if I remember correctly, I have 1 actual teammate and 1 bot, and then the other team has 2, like me, has 2 teammates and 1 bot. And all of us are trying to figure out how the freak to make points. Because the other team, for their credit, figured out their controls quicker than I did, and possibly my partner in this game did. And they had controlled the ball for the longest. So they were making the laps and getting, like, it. But for some odd reason, either they couldn't figure out how to throw the ball, or pass it, or to aim it correctly. I only learned how to jump. There is a dodge mechanic, but I don't think I figured out what that dodge mechanic was other than just swaying in and out. The hit mechanic, which is right-click button. And so, like I said, to gain speed, you have to, like, once you're at a high ramp area, you stop yourself from, like, gaining speed, and you crouch down, and you go down the curve, and that gains you extra speed, which you'll see in a little bit. In the tutorial, they said pressing Y, because they assume everyone's using a Microsoft controller. I have a PS4 controller and a PS3 controller that I use whenever I need to play with a controller on a PC. I never figured out what the button was for the keyboard. It's the same button either way, to request to pass or to pass. So my goal here is basically to try to get the ball away from the other team. And the way I was, as you can see here, trying to do is just punch them. It wasn't until the other team started going the opposite direction that I realized, hey, this isn't like actual racing. Look, we got knocked down because we got hit. We can actually turn the other way and it's not bad. So you can, you see me here turning backwards to try to catch up to the person in possession of the ball. Now, once you have the ball, you have to go the right way, of course, to earn the lap. So you can't go backwards to earn the lap. You have to go forwards, which is, as you can see by the arrows on the ground. The mouse, of course, is the camera. And what I also learned is, even if you lose the ball, as long as no one else has touched the ball, it's still considered your ball. So if you drop the ball or if you didn't pass correctly, as long as the other team hasn't touched it yet and the ball is still moving forward, it'll count towards you gaining laps. And you'll see that once I finally get control of the ball. So I think that's interesting, that until the other team controls the ball. And then as soon as the other team controls the ball, obviously your laps reset, which makes sense. And now we hit the 7-minute mark, so now we're going to overtime. And I forgotten at the time that we only had 3 minutes in overtime. But I think I finally understood. The problem with, like, Lucio, I love Lucio Ball, by the way. And here's me trying to throw it, which is just, regular left mouse click. And the other game whose name I'm going to forget and put in titles, that has to do with cars and soccer, is I get very disoriented with the camera and in this kind of 360 kind of way for some reason. And there's me holding onto the ball and hitting. Or no, I didn't have the ball. So I managed to knock 2 people out. And see how I lost the ball, but no one else touched it, so it still counts. Lap 2. Now, when you're trying to aim to shoot the ball, there are arrows to guide you, but they're in white, and against a bright light, it was really hard for me to see the arrows. I suspected we might not have to be on the concrete and have to be on the window part for it to get in. Maybe it was just me poorly trying to shoot. But I did like that this could be an interesting mechanic where you overshoot to help you get the lap goal. So I managed to do 3 laps and scored the 5 points. and win the game within an overtime. Look at this. Somehow I just managed to angle it just right and not overshoot or over roll pass. So, kind of like Quidditch, once you hit that main goal, the game is over. Now, I didn't get top spot even though I was top scorer, and that's probably because I defaulted with one fan. This game is about fans for some reason, or at least that's how you earn fame. So 100 fans for the game one, 20 for a perfect match, and for me to do the scoring goal. And I wanted to get right back into another game. I tried, but unfortunately, the match queue, I waited 20 minutes listening to the very nice music set that they have and never got back into a game. And I restarted a couple of times because I was also trying to get my controller to work. I never did get the controller to work past the menu because I never got into another game to double test to see if it was my problem for not the controller working during the game or just like, first day, first couple hours demo. But that was Roller Champions, and hopefully you guys are hyped for it. I am. I liked the trailer for it. I liked the mechanic. The game is like a mix of basketball and racing and a bunch of other things, and roller derby, of course. So I am looking forward to playing this with friends and seeing a bigger demo hopefully in the future. This game you can get right now to demo for the next 4 days, I believe. I will correct myself in a subtitle if I am remembering wrong, but this is really great of Ubisoft to like have us have a demo to play immediately at the announcement. Too bad they didn't consider the server hit once people realize like, oh hey, we could check this out now. If you have any thoughts, comments, please put them down below, or you can reach me on Twitter at Diana Moon. Um, and yeah, until next time, I will be having a couple of new videos up for June very soon, hopefully, provided the heat in the Bay Area dies down a little bit. But until next time, Diana Moon says.